proven by multiple studies, even found as the dictionary definition. The optimist, which an optimist is someone who tends to view things favorably or positively, is likely to say the glass is half full. The pessimist is likely to say the glass is half empty, and a pessimist is someone who expects the worst of the negative side of things. And I'm arguing that the glass is half full. The reason I'm arguing this is because optimists tend to view things in a positive way, which leads to multiple improved health benefits, improved mental health, improved work performance and benefits, and improved active proactiveness. To support this, I first want to talk about the physical benefits. So in 1986, 1,306 men went through an optimism-pessimism scale, and they found that the optimist people had a lower risk and better protected for coronary heart disease in older men. And in a combined study, they found that of these 200,000 participant study across 200,000 participants in 15 studies, they found that you had a 35% lower chance of heart disease and a 14% lower chance of early death, only by viewing your days as optimists or viewing the glass half full. Including, it also led to much lower depression rates, and then in the workforce, whenever someone they could determine it was an optimist, a Harvard Business Review found that optimists were 40% more likely to get promoted in the next year, and were 5 times more likely to be highly engaged at work with a less burnout rate. In 1992, optimists were also proven to be more engaged in active coping, making them more proactive. And all of this can be found by multiple studies by viewing your life in a more optimistic way, or being able to view the glass half full.
All right, Council B, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, and go.
With the glass is half full, a lot of people, like Brayden, may think that it's optimism, which is defined as a hopefulness and confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But being overly optimistic can blind you to the costs and consequences of any situation. You can overestimate the benefits and underestimate the costs, and you can make poor decisions because you fail to make an accurate and realistic gauge of any situation. On half empty, on the other side, rather than using the word pessimism, I would rather kind of say something more so the ability to make an accurate and realistic assessment of the situation. So an accurate understanding, rather than dwelling on the possible good and only focusing on that, you can recognize the likely bad, and so what's likely going to go wrong, which prompts a more proactive and educated response based on the given situation. I do want to say, I'll give you a situation. My school day has started off really stressful, but I believe that it will get better. That would be a half full statement. Maybe you go home and maybe the day did get better. You go to school the next day, you have another stressful morning. I believe that it's going to get better. And maybe it does. But what they don't realize is they're not getting enough sleep, they didn't do their homework, they didn't study for the quiz in the first class. You know, what's going wrong here? Someone who views the glass as half empty might go, okay, I'm having a stressful morning, this is why, this is what I'm going to do. They show up to school the next day, it's not another stressful morning. Which opinion here is going to make a more proactive and educated response to improve their outcome?
Thank you, Council B. Council A, are you ready?
I am. Now, to combat what he just said, optimists are more likely to engage in active coping when faced with negative life events. This was a study posted by Aspinwall and Taylor. This study has showed that whenever pessimists view something, they tend to think about the worst and therefore put it off, while optimists are more likely to actively tackle the problem or actively work towards a better solution. And to build off what he said, saying the glass is half empty is pessimist, and what he was trying to say was the realism. People who follow the idea of realism would say the glass is at half and not the glass is half empty.
All right, Council B.
I want to go over some of Brayden's claims that optimists live longer or have more proactive responses to their health, which could be true in some situations. But if you look at some neuroscience studies, people who might view the glass as half empty or might be a little more pessimistic, as much as I want to stray away from that word. Someone who's more pessimistic might have a more proactive and are more likely to actually get help for something earlier. If someone's experiencing heart discomfort, for example, an optimist might think, well, my body's in check, I'm going to be optimistic about the situation, and you're going to keep living. And then they wait too long to go to the doctor and get it checked out, and it might be too late. Someone who's more pessimistic or views the glass as half empty might acknowledge the bad things that they feel and the discomfort and get it checked out early, which may be a cause for more concern than someone who's more optimistic, but they're gonna get it checked out and they're gonna get the help that they need. I do also want to talk about Brayden talking about the realism. With a metaphor like this, realism doesn't necessarily apply. You have to be more realistic because the glass is just at half only applies to an actual physical glass and not an opinion of the glass, which in this situation is just any given situation. Being realistic and viewing the glass as half empty rather than half full prompts a more proactive response about things in your everyday life and can make you live longer.
Thank you. Will council